Hey folks, Dr. Mike here from Renaissance Periodization. We have a really cool video for you today. I've given this a lot of thought. I've trained a lot of people. I've diet consulted and coached a ton of people. And I realized that most folks with careers and hobbies and school and stuff like that want to get more muscular over the long term, let's say a year, and they want to get leaner, but real life is a thing. And so sometimes when you ask people to bulk through the time of the summer in which mostly they want their shirt off, if you ask people to diet hardcore into December, something like that, or through January, it doesn't line up with the rest of their life. So what I have developed for you is a periodized plan for diet and training that covers the entire year and makes it super, super convenient, super awesome, lets you modify it such that over the year you make gains and you get shredded, but all the phases make sense as to why they're positioned where they are to maximally improve your lifestyle. Why periodize specifically? Because I think you probably want three things versus just training and dieting and seeing what happens. One, you want a physique that gets bigger and leaner over time. Duh, that's why you're in the gym. Two, you want ideally to have the ability to be your leanest when it's the season to show some skin. Again, it's awkward when you're mega peak bulk in mid-July and people are like, let's go boating. And you're like, I look like a boat right now, but fuck that. And you're the weird guy with your t-shirt still on. And of course, you want the ability to enjoy fun events and holidays without having to diet right through them. You know, there's a lot of articles that I've written in the past and commentary I've done about people's take to what is the best approach to diet through the holidays. Usually what I say is it's best not to diet through the holidays. You eat some fun foods, relax with your family and friends. There are, good God, 11 months out of the year that aren't the winter holiday month, and you could just do that shit then. There's no big deal at all. So putting this all together by arranging your diet and training in a specific periodized fashion throughout the entire year, you can have it all. You can look great when you're expected to look great. You can look fluffy when no one gives a shit because it's too cold outside to see your physique, and you can make gains that entire time. Here's the plan. I'm going to outline it real quick. I'm going to talk about how these phases work and then get into specifics. March, April, May, or roughly thereabouts, you're going to do a fat loss phase. June, July, August, you're going to do a slow gain phase through the summer. Late August, you take an active rest phase, generally 2 weeks of limited or no training, and generally at the end of August. I'll tell you why in a bit. September, October, maybe a little longer, you do another fat loss phase, maybe a little shorter. We'll get to that in a second as well. And then November, December, January, and February, you do a muscle gain phase for sure, and there's going to be an active rest phase in there as well, so that you're taking care. You get 2 muscle gain phases per year, you get 2 fat loss phases per year, and you get 2 active rest phases per year. So it checks all the boxes. But why this specific sequence? Why can't I do a bulk in March, April, May? Good question. Here's the justification. In the spring, you're going to do a fat loss diet because then you're going to get to look leanest for the summer. Amazing. Nobody cares what you look like during the spring anyway. So if it's March or April, and you're not quite in the best shape yet, who gives a shit? Who the hell is showing skin in April? That's insane. Look, if you live in Australia, sorry, this is all going to be backwards for you. Maybe you can still rig it to be super effective. Ask a kangaroo what to do or a koala. They'll help you out. Secondly, when June hits, you've been dieting for the entire spring and your shirt comes off, it's on because people are like, holy shit, you look great exactly when you're supposed to. And here's a cool bonus feature. Dieting is easier for almost everyone, fat loss dieting, when the weather is warm outside. You're not as cold, you're not as hungry, which is amazing. When the weather is cold outside, you're both cold and more likely to be hungry, believe it or not. But when the weather is really warm, you don't get as hungry. You guys ever been to a tropical resort and you're out by the pool and they've got the little stand where they give you hamburgers and french fries and hot dogs and you're baking in the sun and someone's like, do you want a snack? And you're like, I guess. This cheeseburger arrives and you're like, oh my God, this fucking sun and it's humid. I ate this cheeseburger. I don't know about all this, man. You eat half of it and you're like, that's good enough. Give me some fresh fruit or some shit. But if it's wintertime, someone's like, do you want a cheeseburger? You're like, yes. Why the hell wouldn't I? What the hell's wrong with you? And just existing with your lower and lower body fat is very comfortable when it's hot. If you're fatter when it's hot, it sucks. If you're leaner when it's cold, it sucks. So this timing works out really, really well because you are now your leanest precisely when the temperature is, as they say in the British Isles, hotting up, which we in America say heating up. I don't know why the hotting up thing, but that's something that is said in the world. Now, we're into the summer. In the summer, for the first part of the summer, for most of it, you're going to do a slow muscle gain phase. And at the end, you're going to do an active rest phase. Because the muscle gain phase is really slow. How slow? I'll tell you in just a bit. Because it's really slow, you never really get out of shape during the summer. You're still in very decent physical appearance by the end of the summer, or close to the end, like you were in the beginning. But because you are gaining, you have a surplus in your diet, you don't need to fret and worry about hitting crazy macros and starving yourself, which really does interfere with summer fun a ton. But also you can enjoy fun summer treats and parties and cookouts and things like that. So you both enjoy the shit out of your physique in the summer and get to eat some tasty food. And you're making gains. Triple threat, unbelievable. Now, at the end of August generally is when we prescribe active rest. When you don't really go to the gym much, you just chill out, eat whatever, train basically not at all, really give your body a physical and psychological break. Why do that? Because in most of the world, late August, everyone's on vacation anyway. Fun fact, try to vacation in Spain or Portugal or Italy in late August. Ain't nobody around. There's nobody to there's nothing to buy at the store. The entire fucking country moved somewhere the fuck else, wherever they go. And all the British people show up and then there's no one around to take care of them. Fun fact, right? That's just the way it works. Generally speaking, in many of the modern countries of the world, late August is a time when not a lot of people are doing a whole lot of shit. And a lot of people are vacationing. Great time to go on a trip and amazing because you don't have to train super hard or diet super hard. You can take your active rest in late July if you like, but August is definitely the default and my highly recommended version. Now, summer's over, the fall begins. You take about 8 to 10 weeks through the early part of the fall to get leaner again. This shreds off all the summer fluff because by the end of August active rest, you're a little fluffy. In the fall, there's no more naked time, so who gives a shit what you look like? It's sweater weather, and well, most anyone can look like a human being underneath a sweater. And so you don't have to worry about being super shredded. It's kind of like if you are, there's no bonus. Can you imagine being in your best shape in like late October and you're like, yes, finally, one day for Halloween, I can go as Macho Man Randy Savage. And the rest of the days, I'm just bundled up like everyone else and no one can tell I'm lean. Look at my face, bro. Can you tell I'm lean? Like, yeah, stay calm. Good God. You can end this diet. I'll give you some more options in a bit, but generally right before Halloween, if you're as lean as you want to be, or you can diet right into about just before Thanksgiving if you really want to get leaner still. And that's your call, dealer's choice. Soon as right around the Thanksgiving holidays hit, and I'm just using the American reference, late November, you switch and do one of two things. Muscle gain diet and some active rest in there some place. Holiday eating makes muscle gain a no-brainer. If you fat lost through the holidays, you zigged when you should have zagged and you fucking made a mistake. You're going to put on a little fluff, but don't you worry about that because remember, you have next spring to shed all of that off and you're going to gain some muscle too. So it's going to be a really great thing. There are very few things more fun than hard ass training and fun holiday eating. Amazing combination. And you can take your rest during the winter holidays or even take your active rest sometime in February, depending on how you want to do things. Some people, gyms around them are open. They want to smash that food and that training during the holiday season. But for some folks, they go on holiday, they go on vacation, or the gyms aren't really that open. And then they just take an active rest phase right around Christmas time and New Year's or something like that. If you're real galaxy brained and you're really dedicated and you have lots of good gyms around and you're not worried about falling on or off the plan, super galaxy brain idea is to take your active rest in the first 2 weeks of January. Strange, right? Fuck would you do that? Well, think about it. How many New Year's resolutioners are there in your favorite gym in the first 2 weeks of January? I don't know, like all of them? It's like the barbarian hordes invaded. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're watching hopefully our channel to help them out. It's a fun time for everyone involved. But if you're pretty advanced and you like the gym environment like you like it, and you have a choice to take an active rest phase anytime, and you love to smash food and to smash great training during the holidays, as soon as Jan 1 hits, you're off the gym for 2 weeks. So that by the time you come back, there's some new faces, but most of the old faces and the New Year's resolutioners are, well, for the most part, after 2 weeks, unfortunately, they're gone. Most people drop off after a week or two, and then it's kind of like you can avoid that whole rush altogether. And bonus round is you can get New Year's resolutioners to have a little bit more space to themselves. So it's just quite nice. It sometimes works out really well. Either way, it works. Now, time for the technical recommendations. These are fungible, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. I recommend for your spring fat loss phase to do roughly 0.5% to 0.75% of body weight loss per week as the goal for around 12 weeks, plus or minus, and we'll talk about that in a bit. That's going to net you something like 4 to 8% fat loss. Pessimistically, you can do even a little bit better, and that's pretty cool. That's a big dent. For the summer muscle gain, remember earlier I was telling you guys we're going slow because we don't want to get too pudgy, so I recommend 0.25% of your body weight gained per week, all the way up to 0.375% gain per week. That means you're not gaining a ton of weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, we're talking about 0.5 pound per week gain. I mean, that's around 10 weeks of gaining, plus or minus. You're only going to net around 2.5 to 4% body weight gain through that time, some of which is muscle. So you may be talking about maybe 2 or 3% gain in fat. Look, I got to be honest with you guys. If you finish your fat loss phase at 11% fat, you're nice and lean, you're looking great, and you bulk through the summer to 14% fat, you're still fucking pretty shredded out. You're still looking great. It's not the end of the world, right? It's not like you're going mega bulking and then you're a fat fuck at the end of the summer and you were working on a couple of girls that you were talking to, you know what I'm saying, by the dock. Is that where people in the summer hang out by a lake and meet women? In any case, I've neither been to hang out by a lake nor have ever met any women, but theoretically, you know, she's talking to you and everything is going great, but every week you meet up at the dock, you're fatter and rounder faced and bigger titties. Her titties may look great, but you have bigger titties in the wrong way. And then she's like, things started out cool, but fuck that. But this way, you go nice and slow in the bulk. You just look healthier and have more energy and are happier. And most women don't give a shit about veins anyway. So nobody lost, nobody found. This is a really, really good approach. Actually, you're pretty lean the entire time, which is great. If you want to stay leaner, I just recommend getting leaner during the spring fat loss phase. A little bit more aggressive in the spring, get down to 8 or 9%. You'll be 12% by the end of the summer. That's still fucking, that percent from a technical scientific perspective still fucks. So you're still good to go. Active rest during the summer, maintenance eating around 2 weeks in duration, no big deal. You're going to look a little floppier, a little flabbier, no big deal. Fall fat loss, somewhere between 0.5% and 0.75% loss per week, just like before in the spring. This time around 8 to 10 weeks, a little bit shorter. And there you net something like 3 to 7% fat loss, which is a really, really good amount of fat loss if you really, really grind into there. And I mean total weight loss, so fat loss could be 1% less than that. That's still fucking solid. I mean, imagine dropping 5% fat. You go from 15% fat to 10% fat. That's a fucking big deal. You're going to be much leaner at the end of this, perfectly setting you up to bulk through the holidays. Amazing. It's weird to start bulking when you're already fat, but when you're very lean, not only do you psychologically want to start bulking, but physiologically and anatomically, you have tons of room to grow. So it's a really great situation. Winter muscle gain, 0.25 to 0.5% gain per week, a little bit more aggressive because it's the winter and you have all of spring to drop that fat off. So feel free to eat a little bit more. And remember, summer, yeah, there's fun treats around, but you're not that hungry because it's hot outside. Winter, not only are the treats pretty much fucking better, because holy shit, holiday food is fucking amazing, but also it's cold as shit and you're less active and you just eat more when it's cold. All sorts of porridges and shit like that, sauced up pasta. I love it. So 14 weeks-ish of winter muscle gain, this is a good thing. Muscle gain takes time, and you're going to want to take a lot of time to do it. Around 3 to 7% of your weight gain will occur there. That's a lot of weight gain potentially, and some of it's going to be muscle, which is great, but a good deal is going to be fat. But you'll probably be leaner at the end of that phase than last time, because last time you had minus 1 fall and 1 spring of fat loss. And guess what? After active rest in the winter, where it's 2 weeks of maintenance eating and roughly no training, you're going to be ready to hit up spring again, shred city, get shredded, have a couple more pounds, maybe even more of muscle from that whole year, and you just repeat and repeat and repeat. Amazing. Now, 3 modifications to think about before you apply this to yourself. What do you get when PhD sports scientists collaborate with pro bodybuilders? The most effective muscle growth training app ever made. Get yours now. First, you can always and everywhere slice a week or 2 off of the plan duration or add a week or 2 on just to match your schedule to make sure that your phases work well. If you have a cruise you're taking in early June, there's no sense in dieting through that. Just cut it off early and you'll be ready to go. Number 2, you can futz with the rate of gain or loss by a small fraction if needed. Maybe you want to gain a little slower than I said. Maybe you want to lose a little faster. Be intelligent about it, be wise, and you can get really, really good results tailored exactly to your phase. Point number 3, this is a big one. You can always take, especially the fall fat loss phase, because when you think about it, in the spring fat loss phase, your fat loss has 2 elements. 1 is to reduce your body fat to prep you for further bulking, but 2 is like to actually look good. So there's some impetus for the spring fat loss phase to be pretty serious. But a fall fat loss phase, yeah, you can get primed for gains, but you might already be lean enough to gain plenty. And I mean, it's not like anyone's going to see what the hell you look like after the fall fat loss phase, short of posting some after pics. So feel free to turn the fall fat loss phase in just a 4-week mini cut, probably through like the month of September or mid-September to mid-October. There you could lose up to 1% of your body weight per week, every week for about 4 weeks. 3 to 4% fat loss. And then you can take a much longer bulk, 16 to 18 weeks, if not more, through the winter if you really need some size. So if you're biasing the plan towards being lean over the course of the year, your fall fat loss phase should be like 8 to 10 weeks. But if you're biasing towards muscle gain because you're already pretty lean or just fucking skinny and you want more muscle over the course of the next following years, then every year you should do something like a 4-week mini cut during something like September, October, and then as soon as that's over, right back into that winter bulk early. Hashtag winter bulk, hashtag Sam Sulek. There you go. I said all the stuff I needed to say. During this entire time, by all means, feel free to click on the link in the description, use the RP Diet Coach app and the RP Hypertrophy app, because if you use them, they're designed to be periodized. You arrange all of the needs that you need to with all of them. You type in all the variables you need, and they'll coast you through, get you amazing fat loss, amazing muscle gain, phenomenal training, and all the best. And you'll just have an entire plan for the whole year so that whenever you need to be shredded, you're shredded. Whenever you need to be super bulked, you're super bulked. Everything is good. You're happy. You have friends. Even your dog looks at you differently, nodding in approval through his dog wisdom. What? Anyway, questions? Hit them in the comments. I'll see you guys there. Peace.